So I took all my notes on the plane in airplane mode offline, and then they didn't save to my Google Drive, and I thought I lost all my notes, and I was fully panicking, but it's fine. I got them all.
Have you ever used any of your notes during the show?
See, and that's the thing is I don't really use the notes, but it's like it's a safety blanket. You know what I mean? Like, what if I run out of things to say? I'll need to look at my notes.
Wow, that'd be a dream come true.
Well, you know what, Dan? If you don't want me on the podcast, just say so. Okay, I'll walk away right now.
Okay, well, it's been fun.
All right, thanks, everybody. It's been a real pleasure.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And on this show, we watch movies and then we talk about movies. We don't actually watch movies on this show. We watch movies in relation to the show.
But that's only because of legal issues. Otherwise, I feel like we might watch the movie on the stream and do a Mystery Science 3000 type of deal.
Yeah.
That could have been fun.
That could have been fun. My buddy Todd, his friend, makes that show.
Well, it's a better show than ours. So great job, Todd's friend.
They got more people working on it than if we had a whole crew behind us. This thing would be out of control.
It still wouldn't matter.
So we watch movies. This week, Tony got to pick a movie. So Tony went back to 2015 and
the prime of my life.
Shook off the dust of a movie that I thought must have been released on Netflix, but it was actually released into theaters.
It's Micheal Mann. It was a real movie.
This is. I have a hard time believing this was a real movie.
No, I remember seeing it and I was like, yeah, I should see that movie. It's been a while since someone's done like a good hacker movie.
Now, did you, what's the name of the movie, Tony?
Oh, sorry. This is Blackhat, 2015, Chris Hemsworth.
So you didn't see this movie in the theaters?
I did not. I didn't see it, but I saw the trailer and I was like, I think that's a movie I'm gonna like. And then everyone hated it, and I was like, I'll see it. I'll see it someday.
There's like a Robert Redford movie that seemed like it was similar to this movie. Maybe Robert Redford and the guy in the Barbie movie, Ryan Gosling. Is there some movie that? Because I thought, is this the one where there's a young guy and the old guy, and the old guy's teaching the young guy about spies and stuff, but that's not this movie.
It's not this movie. I don't know what movie that is.
Couldn't find that movie. That's okay. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Blackhat, 2015, 2 hours and 12 minutes. Micheal Mann, the man who directed Heat, which is a movie I love. I love Heat.
It's a great movie.
Shannon hates the movie.
Why? What? Get her on the show.
Hates what's his name, Val Kilmer in the movie, especially his hair.
Okay, listen. If hating someone's hair is a reason to hate a movie, that's fine. But Val, I love Val. I love him.
I thought he was great in that movie.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
This movie is what I would call the palest of pale imitations that's beyond the pale. This movie, I'm going to start off, I hated it. I hated this movie. I hated everything about this movie. I was like 3/4 of the way in this movie, and I was like, there's not one good thing I could say about this movie. Then there was one good thing, and then there was a second good thing. The second good thing is that there were 10 minutes of credits. So it's really only 2 hours and 2 minutes.
I'm on the plane. I was watching this on the plane home, and I kept tapping my screen to see how much time. So I was like, fuck, 15 minutes. And then the movie ends, and I was like, okay. You know what? That's not that bad.
Yes. I'm alive. I'm still alive. This is one of my favorite things about this movie is I watched it, and then I was still alive. I was much older.
I made it through. A little older, a little longer in the tooth, as they say.
But you'd get to these scenes in this movie, and you'd be like, here's the scene from that really good scene in Heat. We're going to do it in here, and we're going to do it really badly.
Do it worse, just so much worse.
And then you're like, look at all these characters. You're like, I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care anything about any characters.
I don't know their names.
You don't know the name of anyone.
I don't think I know a single person's name. In fact, I was calling people by the names from other movies. That's how I was recognizing them.
It is literally the worst movie on making you know the characters' names.
Yeah.
And that's in my opinion, just terrible storytelling.
Oh yeah, storytelling. Did we
and I
do
mean,
any of that?
I really disliked this movie as I watched it. And
Yeah.
then I started reading about this movie. And then I truly began to hate this
Oh,
movie.
You read about? I should have read about it. Todd, teach us. What did you read?
They tried to act like this movie was about something.
Okay,
About the
did
loss
you
of
happen to pick
about
up?
the
Okay,
loss of privacy.
we didn't really cover that though.
No, we didn't. We didn't. And this is one of the most technically correct movies about hacking.
Here's what I will say. It
Yeah.
does get the actual, like, the code part of it.
Some of the code
does
stuff is
pretty
good.
well.
Yeah.
However, we also spend 8 to 10 minutes runtime of CGI going through computer wires, and I was like, no, this is fucking dumb. Why is this happening?
Here comes the bit.
And they did it so much. Honestly, the first 4 minutes of the movie are we just going through a computer circuit board. I was like, this is going to be a great film. I am ready for this.
They were going to call this movie Cyber.
Okay, I mean, cyber almost makes more sense, but because he's like
As
a
opposed-
cyber defense guy, right?
As opposed to Blackhat, which they talk about like in 2 scenes and then
They
never
mention
talk
it
about again in the movie.
very briefly. They say it as if it's something we should already know. They're just like, yeah, and then Blackhat, blah blah blah, and I was like, what is Blackhat? Someone's got to tell me.
I think they told us. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what it is.
They didn't
I mean,
tell you, Dan.
I've
I'm
probably
telling you right now.
written it down in here what it is. And then Micheal Mann did a director's cut of it, where the nuclear meltdown's in the middle of the movie, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that humanly
But
could be.
isn't that what starts the entire chain of events?
You'd think so.
Okay. I don't
So-
understand.
There were a couple scenes left out, and they put in a couple scenes, and then they did another cut of it for a Blu-ray or something. So this movie's been recut 3 times, and I'm more interested in seeing the recut of whatever that terrible movie we watched last week is, The Blair
Book of
Witch.
Shadows. Yeah, I have it saved in my Chrome top. I'm like, I'm gonna watch that sometime. Don't worry about it.
I will at least buy that recutting that movie would be a
Could
really
help.
good idea, and it would be a better
Yep.
movie. It would be absolutely 100% be a better movie. There's no way you could cut this movie to make it a better movie.
Not a chance. I now I kind of want to see it though. I want to see the one where the reactor melts in the middle, because how does the movie even start then? What is the catalyst for all of these events? I don't understand. That's your I don't know. That's your opening part of the movie. What are we doing?
Micheal Mann also later on said at one point, "Well, we kind of went before the script was ready." Really? Before the
Now
script was
that
ready?
I believe. That makes perfect sense, because it does feel like they're kind of figuring things out along the way just to try to get to Z,
Now, did you like the movie? You liked the movie Heat.
I love Heat. Yeah, I love it.
That's a movie that's packed with characters that are specific and
Sure.
look certain ways, and you remember them, and they mean something, and they have names. Did anyone in this movie stand out as having any, other than Chris Hemsworth's character, who ostensibly had the ability to do hacking stuff? Did
But
anybody
also all
have any
sorts of
kind
other
skills?
things.
Oh no,
No,
we're going to get to
Okay.
that.
All right, I'm sorry.
We're
You're right,
going
I'm
to
sorry.
get to Chris Hemsworth is actually James Bond.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
He's more Bourne Identity. He's
Okay,
more
Bourne
Jason Bourne
Sure,
than James
sure.
Bond. Yeah, my God. No. Hold on. Amanda Waller had one
Yeah.
scene
Did
where
she have one scene? Oh, she
where
threatened
they're
the
at
guy.
we're at the dinner table, and I was like, well, there's Amanda Waller right there.
Yeah,
Which
she's
is
great.
how she got DC, right? They saw this movie and they're
Sure.
like, the only mock of good in this movie is her in that one scene, and I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that about Viola Davis, right? That's who she's Viola
Sure,
Davis,
yeah,
right?
I just called her by her character name. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's Viola Davis.
Viola Davis is an incredible actress. She's going to
she's
take
wonderful.
she's going to take the shit you have on the page and make it palatable for the crap movie that
She
you've made.
brings a natural intensity to everything she does, and that's all you need for that.
Yeah.
For how thin that character is, that's way more than is on the page, right? So, good for her.
And the
Nobody
guy that
else.
played her,
I don't know anybody else.
the guy that played her boss, I like him too. He didn't have anything to do in this movie, but I like him a lot too.
Yeah. I don't remember who he is.
I don't remember what his name is,
but
I've seen him. You've seen him, he's like one of those character actors. You see in other stuff, and always good. I feel like he was in the Marvel movies. He played like evil, like someone that was working for Hydra in our government. I could be wrong.
Listen, I believe you.
So, yeah. So those are my base notes are, this is a terrible movie. Micheal Mann has made an embarrassment, and then they act like this is a movie about something. It's not a movie about something.
That's what interests me, because it's not. It's not about a single thing at all.
There are no themes in this movie. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up is I've been watching some good movies, and you watch a good movie and you're like, oh, there's a theme. Oh, look, a theme. Oh, look, a theme.
I haven't
and you watch
seen
a bad
movie in a while.
Well,
keep going. You watch a bad movie. Sorry, yeah.
You watch a bad movie and you're just like, this movie's not about anything. I mean, literally, the villain in this movie, when we get to talk about him, I don't think they ever say his name. Do they ever say the villain's name at all?
I feel like we know the bagman's name at one point.
But
I don't know if we know the main, unless maybe he's on a computer screen.
The Lebanese guy has more character than the bad guy, who's an Australian, I think.
I don't know. I'm not great with accents, which, ask my manager. She knows I'm not good with accents.
Tony's the worst. They made back when poor Tony had to do his final show at Groundlings. He had to play this. You had to play the character that had the accent in the show? Didn't you?
I wrote that because I think that accent is funny. I didn't write a sketch. So here's the backstory of that real quickly. Not that anybody cares, because I don't know anything about this, but Annie was like, you need to do something I've never seen before. So I was like, I'm going to do the most ridiculous, dumbest thing in the world. And the whole bit is this guy, yes, okay. That's it. That's his phrase is, yes, okay. And that was the whole base of the sketch. So I say that like 15 times. She's dying in the back. She thinks it's hilarious, right? And I was like, yeah, it's funny because it's dumb. Like this isn't a real thing. But she's like, this is it. We got to do this. And then the day before, we had a conversation. The day before the show at dress rehearsal, she's like, I don't know if this is funny. And I was like, Annie, I've been telling you, it's not funny. It's not a sketch. Like, it's fine if you like the character. I didn't write a sketch for him. I never did. And she's like, do you want to pull it? And I was like, isn't it too late? Like, what am I going to do other than that? And she's like, I don't know. Let's just keep it in. So that was the story behind that character. But yeah, his whole thing is just, yes, okay.
Maybe she was laughing because she was just imagining you having to do this on stage and it not going well. Just like, I don't know. I don't know. It made me very angry because you're incredibly funny, but you're funny because you can act.
So, and here's the thing. Again,
that's
now
what
we're
you
getting.
need to do. We're going to talk about Tony because it's all about Tony Solipsistic.
Thank God. Let's change the name of this show finally. Jesus.
But I always tell this story is we were doing that one exercise where you have to say the same line over and over again. Each time you would say the line, you would get a laugh. No one else in class except me. I maybe got 1 or 2 laughs off of it. You got a laugh every time.
So again, this goes, and maybe I shouldn't call Annie out. I don't have any ill will towards Annie, but Annie was at our halfway point. She was like, here's the thing. You know who you are. You're very good at playing in this particular space. She's like, we're not going to pass you if you're just in that space. You need to venture out and do these other things. So then the second half of that class was me just doing shit that I'm not comfortable with. I don't really know how to write all that well. Because I write for myself, and I get it. All in all, when I look back, I get why I didn't get past. It's fine. But I live in a very particular space, and while it's not necessarily the same thing, it is like it's a lane that I play. And so she was like, you got to get outside of it, and we got to put stuff that's outside of it in the show. Otherwise they won't see it. I was like, okay. See,
but the truth of comedy is if you're that way, you just write premises that go in different unusual directions, and it doesn't matter.
But they're not a premise. Groundlings is not about premise, Dan. And that was when she told me I didn't pass. Her thing was like, your ideas are very funny, We just don't see the range we'd like. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, as
It is
they
what
put
it
up
is.
as they put up a show and 70% of what works is premise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because it is what it doesn't matter. Whatever. We're off topic.
Okay, Blackhat.
I'm not talented. End of story. We'll move on.
Yeah, so this movie, there are no characters. No one has any range. And I mean, Viola Davis fine, other dude fine, but the rest of the main characters, you're just like, what? I don't even understand what's happening.
I still don't totally understand what happened in the movie, and
Well,
that's why I'm excited for you to tell me what happened in the movie,
I have
Dan.
a few more things I can explain to you. Okay, boom. We start off. We're on the moon. No, we're on the Earth. No, we're in a nuclear plant in China. We're inside the computer. There's code on the move. Someone is hacking. Maybe we see a hacker at this point. We see someone doing something.
Yeah, we see somebody holding a keyboard with one hand and typing with the other, and I thought that was a weird choice.
And then, boom, this hacker has destroyed a turbine in the nuclear plant, which causes heat, which causes an explosion, which causes a meltdown, I suppose. And then people are hurt. And then there's a military. Then there's the guy who's going to be like our main guy. He's a Chinese guy who studied in America, so he speaks perfect English. We never learned his name.
Yeah.
What did you call him? What did you?
I didn't call him anything.
Okay, so
he doesn't make it. So I was like, oh, good, I don't have to worry about this guy.
What do you mean? He's through 75% of the movie.
Yeah, that's not all of it. Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna call him Guy. We're just calling him.
I called him Guy and Sister, and then Chris Hemsworth. So far, that's what I've got names wise.
These are our characters.
Yeah.
Guy, Sister, Chris Hemsworth. Those are our characters. Chris Hemsworth's name is Hathaway. And no, I read what? Yes, it is.
Oh, it is Hathaway. I'm on IMDb.
He does use that name. That name does get used a few times in the second half of the movie, and it's based on some guy that wrote some books or directed a movie that had something slightly to do with what this movie was about. And you're just like, oh, stop.
Oh, deeper meanings. Great job, Micheal Mann. Great job.
So this dude is on the move. He's going to go there. He's going to liaison or something to do with this. Now we get to meet Chris Hemsworth's character. He's in jail. And to toss his room, they have the riot squad come out, and then it takes 1,000 guys to immobilize him so that they can find a phone in there because he's been. Oh, they mace him. They have to mace him. He's such a wild animal,
and he's such a badass that he doesn't even react to the mace. He just closes his eyes.
And lo and behold, they find a phone, and he used this phone to put $900 in everybody's commissary. And
but whose? I didn't understand.
Everyone in the whole prison. He put $900 in the whole prison's commissary. And commissary is the money you use to buy, like, stuff that you're going to make your hooch with or your honey bun each day.
Okay.
You buy your cup of noodle. It's called cup noodle. It's not cup of noodle. It's cup noodle.
Is that true?
It's absolutely true. Go look it up.
I thought it was like a O apostrophe. Cup O noodles.
That's cup noodle. Look at it. See?
Holy shit, I'm looking it up right now. Cup noodle, food. That's weird. Yeah, I never noticed that. I don't like it. I'm going to change it.
We're happy with I guess we had cup of noodles. We don't call it cup of noodle.
Yeah. It's plurals. Lots of noodles.
He put 900 in everybody's commissary, and we have. And as we meet him, we realize this is the unfun, dour Chris Hemsworth. We've taken Chris Hemsworth, one of the amazingly funniest guys in the world.
He's charismatic as all get out.
And we took out his charisma and we punched it in the face until it was dead. And then we
told him is no one in this movie can have charisma. We want a movie that has only one note for everyone speaking. We don't want to ever use inflections at all. Like, it's got to be as monotone as we can possibly get it. It's weird. He even is in the first scene that we're about to talk about. He makes a joke, but never has any personality with it. It's
Oh, he
just
made
like
a joke?
flat. He made a joke. I don't remember exactly what it was because it wasn't very good. But I was
Yeah.
like, I think that's supposed to be funny, but it's not funny. I don't know.
It's like, is he beaten down? Does he need to not be beaten down?
But he's not.
He's not. He's
That's the
just
thing.
kind of.
Later on, he's like, I'm all good.
Does he
I
say
don't know.
I'm all good? He's
What,
just
what
like,
would he say?
I'm good.
I'm all good,
Like,
baby. I'm good.
Not even that much emotion.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm all good. Yep.
But not even like that. Where you're like, are you really saying you're good? Or you just saying you don't get you get nothing.
I'm
you
good.
can't say
Good.
if he said I'm good. You're like, I either don't believe
I don't know
him
if I
or
believe you.
but you don't even not sure if you believe him, right? You just get
100%.
nothing out of him. You're like, there's nothing there. There's just a dead person.
Because in the conversation with sister later at the restaurant, and she's like, "Oh, you've got to get your life back on track." I don't remember what accent. I don't know. I don't think she's doing English. And he's like, "No, listen, I'm all good because I don't let the time do. Or I don't do the. What does he say? I don't let the time do me. I do the time.
I do the time. Yeah, it's
something ridiculous."
Just like one of those stupid platitudes, like "Can't let time get to you, bro. You just got to do the time and not be the time." Now
what it reminded me is Tropic Thunder when Downey is like, "I don't read a script. Script reads me." That's funny because he's making fun of this exact scenario where they just say something bullshit and think that it's clever or deep or witty. And I was, oh God, this movie's bad. This movie's bad, Dan.
This movie's very bad. I mean, this is one of my most hated movies we've ever done.
I agree. I'm with you 100%.
Not necessarily the most painful movie we've done. We've done much more painful movies than this, but this is one of the worst movies we've ever done.
This usually, I would say 90% of the time, maybe even more, you end the thing being like, I don't hate the filmmakers. I do a little bit today. I would slap Mann in his face if I saw him and he talked about this.
Well, and because they act, when you read about it, they act like it's smart. And it's like it means they can't.
This is special.
There's like good stuff that comes out and gets out into the world, and it does nothing. And you feel for the creators because they're just like feeling the pain. This one, you're like they're acting like it's good, and it's like no. This is
if you asked him point blank, you were like, Micheal Mann, what did Blackhat turn out the way that you wanted to? He'd be like, even better. It's even better than I had imagined. This is the best movie ever.
So Chinese dude has to talk to big Chinese guys, the military, the big brass, and
right, yeah.
They're like, why did this attack occur? And we're going to find out over time that the reason it occurred was dumb, and this whole plot. They keep on trying to make it like this is a plot that means something, when what this really is this is a plot to make money.
Sure, yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's what it is.
What do I say about money, Tony?
That you love it and you want more movies to be about it. I believe that's if we made a T-shirt, it would be Dan Goodsell wants more money.
I think Die Hard's the only true movie where the villain is truly motivated by money, but we don't think that.
Right, that's why it works, is because you think it's like this big plot, and then Hans is like, "No, baby, I'm just here for millions and millions of dollars, motherfucker." And then you're like, "Okay, that's cool."
That's cool
because he makes it seem it's not just the movie doing it. Like the whole plan for Hans Gruber's plan is to make it seem like they're making a political statement. This is a big movement, and he's like, "Just kidding. I'm just coming for this safe, motherfuckers."
And we understand. Then he becomes even more of a character. We're like, we understand this guy.
100%.
He's a scammer. He's playing. It's just another level of him playing everybody.
He's just a silky
he's
smooth
the smartest
cat.
guy. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Oh.
This thing, the
Rickman.
movie tries to tell us through the first bunch of the movie that it means something, and then we get to the end, and then you're like, oh, it's about money.
And you're like, wait a second.
I'm so
it doesn't mean
disappointed.
anything. What's happening here?
It's so stupid. So
Dan, I need to ask you a question, and I want to be very careful about the way that I ask it. Did you have subtitles?
No. Why would I? Oh yeah, subtitles. Yeah, percentage of the time.
Interesting. I swear to God that I'm watching these people speak Chinese and I'm not getting subtitles and I have no idea what's spoken 30% of this movie.
I don't know. I don't think I had that problem.
Okay, I wrote it down because I was like, why don't they have subtitles right now? I don't understand what they're saying. They're having full conversations on screen and I don't know what's happening.
Oh.
I don't know why it was weird. Maybe it's because I downloaded and watched it offline and it just didn't come with it.
I think
I don't know, man.
That's you glitching. I don't think it's the movie glitching.
Okay.
Because I never got confused about anything.
Okay. Got it.
So we meet Viola Davis, I think her name is Carol. And then Stanley, who's her boss. And basically the Chinese want to team up with the Americans to solve this situation.
Which, why? I don't even understand why.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Because the Americans could care less about what happens with their stupid nuclear facility.
Right. And we say, no, like, we don't want to. Why do we say yes? Because everybody else, other than Amanda Waller's team, is like against it. So at halfway through the movie, she's like, well, I can't call Washington again because they already said no once and nobody's going to help us. How has this been sanctioned then?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Who's paying for everything? I don't know.
Who's footing the bill?
We'll talk about the money problem with this movie at some point.
Oh boy.
So basically the Chinese guy, he looks at the code and gets angry. He's like, I'm angry at this code. And then he goes and recruits his sister.
And you know it because he throws something off of his desk. The key sign of somebody being angry, which I don't think anyone in real life has ever done, is just to take something and just throw it off his desk in anger. So I hate it. It's one of my least favorite moves in the world.
I'd get shit messy and that would be bad.
Because then you got to pick it up. No one else is going to pick it up. Oh, boy.
So he recruits his sister and goes and meets her at this weird bar. And you're like, is he picking her up? And then it's his sister.
Yeah. I thought maybe it was like an ex-lover that they were on a job together and then they were scorned. So then when he's asking her for a favor, she's like, I don't want to do it. No, I don't understand what's happened.
Yeah, he walks over to the table and she's like, okay.
Well, she's like, no, I've got stuff to do. And he's like, it's important. And she's like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm in. Let's do it.
So that's his sister. These two were in an Ang Lee movie, which was a big hit at one point. And she and him are both pretty big Chinese stars. And I think that's why they're in this movie, is because they want this movie. And I think this was 2015. This is when they were starting to make stupid movies like The Great Wall, where they were trying to figure out how we can make a Hollywood movie, make a lot of money in Hollywood, and then also make a lot of money, overseas. Even more money in China, which of course this doesn't work because
neither of the movies you said have worked. They've both been
no.
Wait, did The Great Wall make money?
I think Great Wall did pretty good.
Yikes. I mean, it's better. Let's be clear. I would watch that movie 100 times before I watch this movie again.
10 times. That was much.
You're right. Maybe 10 times. 100. I don't think I could sit through it 100 times, but 10, sure.
Boom, boom, boom. So he recruits his sister. Boom. Now we have the second hack where they hack the stock market and they run up soy, the soy markets, and they do it very confusingly, and you do not understand what's happening.
Okay, so here's the thing, Dan. I'm not a great money guy. All right, I don't.
No.
And do I work for Yahoo Finance? Yes, I do. However, I don't understand any of it. Hopefully, no one from my office is listening. I don't understand the markets. I don't get it. I don't know how to do it. So when they don't tell me what's happening. They're just showing numbers changing and then people yelling at the stock exchange. And I was like, I don't know is it crashing? Are people making too much money? I don't know what's happening. I still don't, but everyone was upset about it.
Yeah. And the key to movies is you have a character in there that spits out the information in some way that's interesting. Oh, fuck, I'm getting killed on soy. Oh, yeah, me too. We're all getting killed on soy.
It's like, soy. Okay, that's what's happening. All right, I get it.
You can act like, there's some movie makers that can like not tell you things and then you discover them as you go along. You're like, oh, that's what was going on there.
Sure.
This is not that movie because this
No,
movie's
it's
too
not.
dumb. Way too dumb. So boom, they run up that, and then so the Chinese guy I think he's here in America, and he's all like, let me show you what's happening. He's like, this is the rat, and then this is the payload. The rat is what gets you in, and then the payload does the thing. Me and my buddy wrote the rat, and you got to get him if you're going to solve this problem.
Dan, I have a question, and I don't know if we can answer this. I really don't. He wrote the code, algorithm. I don't know what he wrote. Whatever the rat is, he wrote it with somebody else, and he says it like as a joke or something.
They did it when they were in MIT, as a lark.
Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those words.
He didn't say lark, but that'd be funny.
Can you
if he said that.
Do that? Is it
sure?
What
you can do things as a joke.
No. Okay. No. He wrote a program. Is it specifically to do what this guy did?
No,
because that feels like an illegal program.
Oh yeah, it's totally a illegal program. Yeah.
So then, how can he be like, "Hey, I wrote it"? Doesn't he get in trouble?
No,
he doesn't get in trouble because he didn't use it.
Yeah, he didn't use it.
I don't. These laws feel pretty loosey goosey to me. Like
guns don't kill people. People kill people.
People kill people. Sure.
He just made a gun and then left it on the table.
Just left it on the internet. Anyone could take it. I'm sorry, course, that feels irresponsible.
There's no explanation as to how this guy got their program, and if this is like the greatest program in the world, why isn't everyone using this program?
They just have the code as a download PDF file on their website somewhere, and this guy is just like, "Oh, this is cool.
Look at us, pretty nice." It's just, it's like we understand that you can. What did they say? They were talking about one of the people he talked to. Who was this big hacker, and the thing he'd done, and it was like the thing that his big claim to fame with hackerism was like, I hacked McDonald's, everyone got free fries. It was just something really stupid.
And to me, #legend right there. All right, if I'm getting free fries because someone else put in a bug in the system, I'm that guy's the best.
And you have to make it something interesting like that, like. We used it to do this thing that caught the attention. Then we got in trouble. Then a thing. But this,
that's
it's like,
great. Or what's even would be more interesting if it's somehow tied to why Chris Hemsworth is in jail.
Well, we know. Well, we'll talk about why Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, we will, because there's no reason. They
explained it.
They explained it. Terrible, horrible decisions. I'm going to hold off. I got a lot of problems with that system. All right.
So he's like, the only way we're going to solve this is you get my bro out of jail. And then they go in there to the jail. They bring him the thing. And they're all like, blah, 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 blah. We're going to let you go. No, we're just going to let you out. And you're going to fix the thing. Then we're going to throw you back in here. And he's all like, no, man, I have all the power. You're going to just let me go if I do this. I have all the power. I have the power. Right. And then they're all like, I guess we're going to let you go.
Well, they do a nice little scene where he calls Amanda Waller, and all you see is, how bad do you want this guy? Or something like that. Very great stuff. Great storytelling and script. Love it. I have a question, Dan. Again, circling back to accents and me not being very good at them. Is this how Hemsworth normally talks?
I don't know.
I didn't understand half of what he said. It sounded like he was doing part Southern American and then part Australian.
I just took generic American. That's what I took.
That's what you took, because it's not. Yeah. Whatever he's doing is not. I mean, listen, it's hard to not speak in your natural accent, but I don't know what he was doing. If I pointed at a map, I couldn't put him anywhere in America. I'll tell you that.
No. What about the sound mixing on this movie?
Awful, just terrible. Sometimes,
because during this part of the movie, there were these things where it was like, whoosh, whoosh,
not only that, but I would say 40% of this movie is ADR. This is not captured on set. There are times in the scenes with in China that the audio didn't even match up to the lips. And I rewound it like 3 times. I was like, that's not even what he's saying, I don't think.
Wow.
And there's parts in this scene as well. Chris Hemsworth will be talking, And then they cut to behind him so you can't see his mouth move. And it sounds like he's in a completely different room. And I was like, this is so bad. It is mind-boggling. It was awful. It was truly terrible.
If you can't afford your own sound mix, you should not be putting the movie in the theaters. If you can't freaking... I mean, I understand that. I understand that. What's his name, Mr. Tennant? I understand he does not understand sound, but he mixes it the way he thinks it should be mixed. No one else agrees.
He's having a great time. He's in his room with like 9 speakers, just having a great time.
Sounds perfect to him. You know, he's deaf in one ear and mixing it lopsided, but. You know,
but it's fine. That's what he wants to do. Then he can do it. All right.
He's a genius.
You just don't get it, Dan. Okay.
So they get him out. Then they take a plane somewhere, and the two of them get in a conflict. Guy and Chris get in some conflict that I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they get there, and then they look around. I think this is when they get off the plane, and he just sort of looks the world. He just looks out at the world. It's world.
Not. And then there's a lot of slow motion in this movie that shouldn't be here because nothing's happening. He's literally walking down an air. What do you call that? The runway. He's walking down the runway. It's like slow motion. And I was like, what's happening? And then he stares out at the mountains. And then sister comes up. She's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm good." Or something like that's where he says, "Yeah, I'm good." But he's not. I don't know what's happening. This doesn't tell me anything about his character or the story. It tells me nothing. So it's great stuff.
I wrote this. He's flashy, got soy money, waiting code of next job.
What?
I don't know.
What do you say? Oh, that is the description of the bad guy. So they bring Hemsworth in for his expertise, and he's like, this isn't the job. The soy wasn't the job. This was him getting money to do the job, whatever the job is. Yeah. Or something stupid like that.
He's writing the code. He's probably just sitting at home writing the code for the next job. And they're all like, "Oh, wow, you know everything."
Let me ask you a question, Dan. You don't think this guy has the code already written? Wouldn't he have all steps of this plan in? Because what happens if you get stuck? What happens if he's like, "Man, my code's just not working, but I did the soy 2 weeks ago. If I don't do it now, I got nothing, but my code's broken." Well, that's not what he would do.
I'm just going to ask you one question. It's the question of the whole movie. I should wait till the end, but I'm going to ask you the question. No,
ask it now. This is good. We're 41 minutes in. Like and subscribe, everybody. Next, move on.
Oh, we're 40 minutes late. Damn it. We're supposed to put that at the beginning. But like and subscribe. If you do like it, that helps with the algorithm. And we got like a number of likes on the last one. So I thank you, everybody.
We did, which is weird because it's not. Last one was the Summer Hate recap.
Oh no,
right?
Summer Hate we didn't get the likes on, but the one before that I asked for likes up front, we got the likes on.
So you continued to do it. Oh wait, you didn't.
So supposedly he needs this $70 million to do the next plan. What does he need that money for?
Maybe he's paying the salary of his computer engineers to write the code because this guy can't write code.
I don't know that.
The bad guy in the movie, but you saw him. He can't write code.
I don't know that.
Just judging based off of his face and the way he talks, he can't write code himself. All right.
So he needs $72 million to hire a couple of programmers to write some code.
Yeah.
So
Dan, I don't know the answer.
There is no point. So the whole premise of this movie is that there's this $72 million that they need because they're going to have to get the movie out. They're going to have to. The next part of this movie is about them trying to retrieve their $72 million because it's
that's integral to the plan. It's on the internet. Chris Hemsworth has it on the internet somewhere. I don't know how money works.
But actually, no, they have to turn this money into cash, don't they?
Yeah, so that's what he says. He's like, if I was the bad guy, I would take the cash out because cash isn't traceable. But if you take it out, it's traceable. Dan, I don't understand any of it.
But if you have a bunch of money in bags of cash, that means you either have to use it for something or that you only did this so that you had bags of cash that you could like hang around with.
Yeah, and that's what I would do it for.
Yeah.
Bags of cash. I love bags of cash.
Right here in the room.
Mine would be right behind me. That would
No,
be
no.
my set for the day. Yeah.
No, mine would be right in front of me.
So you
couldn't
could
see
see
it
it
on camera, and I could just touch it.
See, I want everyone to know. That's the difference between you and me. I want everyone to know that I'm rich as shit. That's what I need you to know, that I've got more money than you. I'm better than you.
I've talked about my bank robber trial before on here, right? Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
One of the pieces of
again,
evidence.
People don't watch all the episodes.
One of the pieces of evidence that they used was a Facebook picture of them in a hotel room. And do you remember where they put the money, Tony?
On the bed, so they could lay in it, right?
No, they put it in the sink.
No? Oh, they put it in the
sink.
sink. Oh, they should put it on the bed so they can lay on it. That's where you should do it.
And we got to see in the court, we got to see a picture of a sink full of money.
So good. So good.
People are so stupid.
People are stupid, but at the same time, I get it. I want people to know.
Then I wrote, Mr. Chen, dude and Viola, money, can't do it. Viola threatens him. Oh, okay. So they go see this one dude.
What?
I don't know what that's about.
All right.
Okay, so they're looking for this Alonso Reyes. He's like the guy that they know did something. He did something.
He did something.
So who do they send to his apartment to search his apartment?
The escaped convict guy. Not escaped. What would he be called? I don't even know.
He's a furloughed convict.
Furloughed convict, and then one officer, and then the officer's sister, who's not. She's nothing, right? Does she
nothing.
She doesn't have a badge or anything. She's a civilian, as far as I know.
She's a programmer. She's like
so she's a civilian. So a furloughed convict and a civilian, and that's all you need, right?
And this is when the movie just becomes the dumbest thing, because
it started a long time ago, Dan, but continue.
But this was the point at which he just is in charge of situations that he should not even be 1,000 miles from. He's your hacker. Your hacker is Jack Black sitting in the van.
Yeah. So in general, this is a big theme of me not liking the movie, is that he's good at everything. Right? And apparently they see that and they're like, well, what are they? Who are we even dealing with? Is it the NSA? Is it CIA? I don't even know who the government agency is, but they're like, yeah, you know what? You can do whatever you want. We're not running the investigation anymore. Why don't you take it over? Because you've had, so many years of experience on this thing. I don't get it, Dan. Why is he shouldn't be anywhere. He shouldn't be allowed to go anywhere. And if he is, it should be like a castle situation where they're like, wait in the car. And then he doesn't wait in the car. And then I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
But he's exactly.
Cracking open doors.
Oh, it is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You got to, if you're going to set him up as having infinite skills, you better set him up. Did we know? So did we get to the point where they talk about why he's in prison? No,
that's at the restaurant.
That's very soon.
Yeah,
that's very soon.
We're almost there.
So they go in there. The bad guy has OD'd randomly, and all his computers are wide open. No password protection. Nothing.
Yeah. Do you have a problem with that a hacker would leave his computer unprotected? That's weird, Dan. Okay.
I leave my computer unprotected because I just sit here on my computer.
I can't. My computer is automatically protected because it's a company computer. So
let's talk about that.
Company secrets on it. I have to use my fingerprint and a password to get into it, and it falls asleep after 5 minutes of unuse. So if I'm sitting here for 5 minutes and I haven't moved my mouse, it goes to sleep, and I have to fingerprint and use a password. It is annoying.
And that is what you do. But no.
But this guy dies, and his computer's still open? That doesn't even make sense. He doesn't even have a screensaver?
This guy's $70 million floating through his hands. He's just like, come on in
don't worry about
anytime.
it. Never go to sleep, computer. That's an option, right? Never sleep. I think that's a PC option. That's what he's got clicked. It doesn't make any sense.
Chris Hemsworth, does a bunch of typing, and he sets up a meeting with the bad guys, and he calls himself Ghost Cat or something.
Hold on. This is my favorite part of the movie, Dan. Did you happen to notice what the subject of the email is that was sent covertly between two criminals?
No.
It just simply said, drop set a meet period. That was, and then his response would have been like where they're going to meet. But if you're a criminal and someone's looking, like, I automatically know where email to look at. Like, okay, well, this is what's going to drop, set a meet. Yeah, let's go there. They're not going to use some sort of code, some sort of like fancy way of talking. I don't know, man.
So they set up a meeting, and then he just leaves the dude that plays, like, I guess he's like a marshal or something, who's like the guy from Mindhunter, who I love, who's so underused. It's frightful. Yeah. They just like ditch him to go to this meeting. They don't talk to him. They just
because let me look at my notes here. I think it's already happened.
He fucks with his thing. I fucks with his phone at that point. But that's a setup for the end of the movie.
Sure, but that happens in the scene where they find the guy. So they found the guy. He's dead. Hemsworth, hack, email, blah, blah, blah. And then the police guy comes in and he's like, oh, it's clear. We should call for help. And then his phone is stuck. He can't make a call. Like he can't connect. And Chris Hemsworth's like, let me see it. And then he gives it to him. He turns on roaming as if this guy doesn't know how to turn on roaming, or B, phones these days just automatically switch to roaming now. It's just a thing. But then in his map settings on whatever this foot ankle thing, there's just a setting that says refresh time. And he's like, oh, it's 1 minute. Let's change that to 1 day. This is not a thing that would happen in this app. There wouldn't be an option to be like, I only want to check on my criminals once every day. No, it is automatically going to be sending real-time information. Dan, I'm telling you, there's no way. Some police people out there, let me know if the ankle bracelets have a setting where you just don't check on them. That doesn't make any sense.
Every time I use your Voodoo, it starts with the subtitles, and I have to like go into my subtitle thing. True. I have to click a thing. It's a pain in the ass every time.
And then I get yelled at then because the next time she uses it, she's like, "Why are the subtitles off?" And she's mad at me.
Hold on, I change it in my computer. I don't change it in your Voodoo.
Oh, you saying on the computer you do it?
Yeah, that's not a thing. It on the computer. Yes, I have to. It's accessibility. I have to go to my accessibility thing, go down there and turn the thing on and off. You don't
change CC as an option in the movie because that won't turn it off. It has to be in Voodoo on the movie itself. There's a CC option in the bottom right.
No, Voodoo talks to my computer and says, change this thing up in there.
But what I'm saying is that's going to change it in Voodoo because otherwise Voodoo would be showing the subtitles. Your computer is telling it to turn it off.
Yes.
And then I get yelled at, and Dan thinks it's great fun for everyone.
Oh, this is great fun. Okay, so they get to the Chinese restaurant, or it was Chinese or Korean restaurant.
Yeah, it's a restaurant.
And then he explains why he's in jail. First thing he did was he had a girlfriend, so he killed a guy over that. And then
hold on.
Hold on. Let me tell it how I'm going to tell it. He killed a guy because of some stupid girl. And then I guess he got out of jail, and then he went to MIT, and then he stole $6 million and went back to jail. That's not what happened.
No. You missed up. The MIT comes first.
Oh.
He was at MIT and had to drop out because he went to jail over killing the guy.
Oh, so he's not in jail for hacking?
No. He
only went to jail once.
Yeah, but that was for the killing the girl. Or the guy. Whoa, sorry, that got domestic.
Oh, so he killed the guy. So he had. Where's all this money?
Did he make the money? I don't.
No, he stole $6 million.
He stole money. You're right. You're right, because he said when I got out, there wasn't a lot to do with an MIT dropout ex-convict. So then he decided to steal money. So I think he went to jail twice.
He went to jail twice. He killed a guy.
Yes. Yeah.
So wait, he killed a guy. Why was it in MIT? Then he went to jail. Then he went to jail again for stealing money. But why is he in?
Right.
So he's in super jail because he's a money stealing murder guy,
and he's a repeat offender. Yeah, that's got to be it. Got to be it. Because so he got out of MIT and was unable to get a job because nobody trusts an ex-convict. So then what he did was stole money to reinforce the idea that you can't trust ex-convicts.
Why did he get caught stealing money?
I feel like someone asked him that, didn't they?
I don't
remember.
Okay, so it doesn't.
I don't remember how he got caught. Here's my thing, Dan. This is why it upsets me. You know the movie Con Air, greatest film of all time?
Greatest film of all time.
He goes to jail for murdering somebody over a girl.
Hell yes.
And he's a hero.
He is a hero.
Know what I mean?
He's an American
Like,
hero.
you see that and you're like, I get it. It was unfortunate, but he was attacked.
Yep.
That makes him a hero.
Yep.
When this guy is like, I got in a bar fight over a girl and it went too far and I killed him, and then I got out of prison and then stole millions of dollars, you're like, this guy's a piece of shit. Let's not get him out of jail. The whole movie, whole time in Con Air, you're like, I hope this guy gets off the plane. He's a good guy. A bad thing happened, but let's get him back on to his family. And this guy, you're like, just put him back in jail. This guy sucks.
Well, and in Con Air, he says it. He's like, I didn't hang out with all these fuckers. He didn't hang out with all the terrible people in jail. Yep. He's the one who's like, I put my head down and I got the fuck away from everybody, and nobody knows who I am because I'm nobody to them.
Yeah. Not that these movies should be compared, because that is an insult to Con Air. But I just wanted to point out, hero-wise, it's a very similar story trajectory, and they just made him so much less likable than he should be. And in general, I feel that way. This movie is sort of, in my opinion, I don't know if you feel this way, it's sort of built like a blockbuster, like a Con Air, like an Independence Day, that sort of thing. Like, the incident happens. We gather a team. We should have some fun along the way, which we do not. And then, whatever happens. Like, this movie should be fun. I would argue the person who wrote this thought they were writing a fun movie. And then I think it was turned into a dull movie.
No. I think they thought they were writing a serious movie about how cybercrime really is.
I just want that to not be true. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the hope of why this movie even got made.
Actually, I'm gonna explain to you why what you said is wrong.
Okay, you know what? Okay, tell me why I'm wrong, Dan.
Because his next line, I only burned banks.
Wait, you're right.
Because that's the whole thing. True. He's all like, I only, bring down the man. You're like, no, you're not that guy. I do not believe this. You're not Robin Hood. You're a piece of shit.
But let's pretend he was. And he was likable. That's a whole different movie.
Yeah, of course.
A movie that I would enjoy a little bit more. Still, this movie sucks. That's not going to save the movie. Let me be very clear. But when I write my hacker movie, which we're going to talk about at the end of this, that's about the trajectory I'm taking.
So she's like, you talk like you're still in prison. You got to clear your mind. He's like, blah, 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 blah.
And this is where he's like, nah, I'm good. I don't let the time do me. I do the time. My mind is right. I don't know what's happening. This is the dumbest speech in movie history.
So he looks around. He's all like, something's wrong. So then he goes through a door, and through the door he sees that there's a camera on a video watching them, which doesn't make any sense because I guess the bad guy just left a computer with the camera as opposed to just working the camera from his remote.
See, I thought that's what he was doing. I thought he team viewered it, not to drop brand names. I guess I shouldn't do that. But I thought he remoted into the computer and was controlling the camera. You think that he was just in there watching? He might have been.
I don't. No. I believe he was remote, but it's like,
okay,
why is it going to come up on the screen? Like if I hack in there, like if I hack into your computer and turn on your screen to watch you, you're not going to leave your computer open. Like when you're gone, your computer's not open, but I could get into your program and watch you through your camera, right? Yeah. The computer doesn't have to be open. And so it
was though.
So he's being watched on the camera. He goes out there. There's the girl. And then the bad guys show up. Oh, wait, no. He goes through the door. Then the camera finds out that the bad guy's in the Ukraine. He says, I'm Ghost Man. Like, whatever. And then we have a fight. You want to talk about the fight, Tony?
Yeah. What does he take on? 6 dudes? 6, 7 dudes?
Sounds about right.
Something like that. It turns out that Chris Hemsworth, hacker extraordinaire, is a born killer because he knows martial arts. He's stronger than everybody. He's clearly been fighting since he was 8, 9 years old, just trained to the bone. Because he just handles. He doesn't even. Does he get hit? I don't even know if he gets hit. He might get hit once, maybe twice, but he's able to handle 6 guys, just murders them all. Like he for sure kills one guy.
I wrote 3 guys, but it could have been more. It could have been 4.
You think it's only 3? No, there's definitely more than 3.
It's 3 or 4. It's only 3 or 4 guys.
All right, 4. Still, Dan, 4 against 1. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen unless you are a trained fighter.
He destroys
and he kills one dude with a table. Like he smashes a guy's face in with a table. So he's killed at least one person.
Do you really want to be killing people when you're on, furlough?
You should. Jail? He's still technically in jail. If he doesn't pass this mission, he goes back to jail. Now they're going to add murder charges on him.
Just because we need more side notes. Just a quick one. There was never a point at which he was playing a second game to their game. He was always doing exactly what they said. And that made him even less interesting. If he'd been playing some sort of side game.
Yes, you need to be smarter than them. That's how you have to beat them. You don't just he's a hacker, Dan. He's not Bruce Willis in Die Hard, right? He's not the bulldozer that's just going to push through no matter what the odds are. He's the guy that has to outsmart the bad guy because that's his superpowers. He's smart. Not in this movie. Yeah.
So they run out of the Chinese restaurant into the parking lot where there's a taxi about to pull away, just in the parking lot, and then it screeches to a halt so they can run and jump into this taxi.
Yeah. Just like taxis do all the time in New York City, right?
Then they get back to the apartment, and then there's a lot of intense, there's looks, then there's kissing, then they get it on.
Yeah, when did
they talk?
Fall in love?
Oh, this right when he beat the shit out of people, and he's all like,
"Oh, so she's one of those people." Got it. Violence turns her on. Okay.
And he talked to her. He's the first person to ever talk to her because when they're in the restaurant,
and her brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then they're in love the rest of the movie.
Yeah, like deep love too, not like movie love where it's like, oh, they're together. Like they are in love. The brother, well, maybe we should wait for the brother, but the brother is like happy for them. It's bizarre.
Super weird. And then they talk, and did he say something about having a kid or someone being sick or something?
He talks about when he was a kid and something about his father. Like we cut from sex to him like going into childhood trauma to try to explain the way that he is or something. It was very weird, should never have happened, and it did not help with the character development.
Okay. Boom, they're in a helicopter. No, wait, then they go to Hong Kong.
Yes. Yeah, don't get to the helicopter too quick.
No. They go to China. This is the worst scene of the weirdest scene. They're in China. They're on a helicopter. The helicopter takes them to the nuclear facility. They see the weird injured people still being pulled out of the facility after a week, 2 weeks.
And that's the only part that is like, okay, that's why he would want the explosion to happen in the middle, right?
I guess.
Because from this editing.
So they would have recruited him to do all that other stuff, and soy hadn't happened? I don't understand.
Well, soy happens first, and then the reactor.
That makes a lot more sense.
It actually does. Now that we're talking about it, maybe Micheal Mann was right, and that should be the direction that it goes.
So soy happens first, the Americans are alerted. China happens second, they're alerted, and they're all like, we got to talk. That actually, the movie now starts to make a small amount of sense.
Maybe we should find this Micheal Mann cut. You said it's on a Blu-ray?
No chance. I'm not watching this. No, never. No, I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make it good. It's like,
it doesn't fix anything. It just makes like that one part make a little more sense.
But why would you? So they're like, we got to make this exciting. Have a nuclear meltdown at the beginning. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't interesting.
Right, because we didn't know what was going on at first.
If they'd have done a thing where we watched the stock market blow up and have a bunch of people freak out, if we had a bunch of Americans freaking the fuck out about the stock market, that could be pretty amazing. You'd be like, oh shit, this is bad. The stock market is important. One nuclear facility, you're just like, huh.
Well, listen, if you like stock markets, I have a great sketch up on YouTube. Go check it out. Why do I have a feeling you're not going to check it out, Dan?
Okay, so they go to China, and China's like, everything's hot. We can't get you the information you need. And they're like,
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah. I didn't get it.
Then they're in the city. They're being worried. There's a command room. They found
Wait, is
out
this the helicopter where Chris and brother have a conversation? It's not. Okay, sorry.
we're in the city. They have a command center. There's more hackery guys here. They're
Hackery guys. I like that.
maybe they're in Hong Kong here. They're tracking the traders, and they're trying to figure out. There's these 3 guys that hacked the soy, and so they're trying to like figure out what they're up to. And then Chris Hemsworth's like, and they're like, "Here's the map of where they all walked."
Oh God!
And then he's all like, "Could you overlay those 3 maps together? Look at this. They all walk through this same area.
They
That
all
must be the
perfectly
key."
intersect at one moment, and nobody noticed that. They've been looking at it all day.
It's not a moment. It's a location.
What?
They all walk through there at different times.
No, I know, but you're telling me that these people, a room of people, have been looking at these 3 lines on a map independently, and not one of them was like, maybe we should see if they overlap anywhere, because they're all in the same area. Not one of them put them together.
No, Chris Hemsworth did that because he's the hero. Because it takes a smart
He's
white,
not my hero.
smart white guy to come in there and say, "Let me tell you what you
now it's making
let me
some sense.
tell you
You're
what
right.
you're doing wrong, people."
You're right. There's no white people in that room before he gets there, so that must be the answer.
So they're also they're like, so then they go there, and there's a van that's watching the area, and then they just climb in the van because they figure out that the van is like a surveillance van.
Surveillance.
And they just knock on the door, and the guy's like, "Surveillance van? Oh, you found us."
Surveillance van, how may I help you?
So there's like, they're watching a Lebanese guy who's been sitting there, smoking cigs and eating food all day. And then they're like, this is interesting. So then they all pile out of the van, and they go over to where he's at. And then Chris Hemsworth like, he's like, give me a piece of equipment. He's like,
no, well, hold on. It's very important what piece of equipment he takes. He says, hey, do you have an Android phone? Because Androids are better. Let's just throw that out there. But they're more modular. So I don't know what app he's using. I don't believe it's a real app. However, he just uses an app to scan frequencies. Is that what he does?
I don't know.
Great
he doesn't
question.
say. No one tells us what he's doing, and he just does it.
I just
he's so
love
smart.
that he's like, hey, do you have an Android phone? Very specific to Android. I love it. Where are Androids made? Is this product placement?
I probably got paid to do that.
Yeah, look at these guys doing it.
All that money they got. And so then he finds this little thing in the bush. They just left this thing in the bush, and it's just like a thing that only works if you're near it. So you couldn't detect it from outside. And so these guys were basically walking by it to unload the money or something. I don't even know.
I have absolutely no idea.
And then the one guy gives the best line of the movie: "The sun rises in 2 hours." And we're like, what?
So?
Okay. What's happening when the sun rises?
Who cares? Does that signify anything other than light? And the answer is no, Dan. It really doesn't.
So then he goes and Chris is back at his thing, screwing his new girlfriend. And then she's all like, "Oh, what about the future?" And then he's all like, "I'm going to fix garage door openers." And I'm like,
this is great.
You're going to work for the NSA, and you're going to do what they tell you, and you're going to be a hacker for the government.
He's not, Dan. He's going to fix garage door openers. And then he's like, "Would you still like me if I fix garage door openers?" And she's like, "I don't know. I guess we'll see." It's the weirdest exchange I've ever heard in my life. And also, why is this guy now suddenly okay fixing garage? Last time he got out of jail, couldn't find a job. He was like, "I'm going to rob $6 million. But now that he's out, he's like, "I guess I'll be a poor person, even though I could easily steal more money." I don't know if I buy it, Dan.
I'm not buying it at all. So, boom, the bad guy's up in his thing, and he sees like a little flash from people watching him with binoculars. So he's all like, "Oh, on to you
Yeah, I mean, that's some eagle eyes right there. That's impressive stuff.
He knows he's made, and the money moves through a Macau casino, and then they decide that they should put an elite SWAT team onto multiple helicopters and go get him now.
Wait, but before that happens, the brother knocks on everyone's doors, right? And it's like, hey, we're moving out.
Yeah.
He opens the door to Chris Hemsworth's room, and the sister's in there. One, how did she get in there without anybody noticing? Why don't
you lock the door also?
Or something. But he opens it and he's just like, "Yep, no, this is what I expected," which was a weird moment. But apparently he didn't know. This is the confirmation. It's so weird. This whole thing is weird. But anyhow, yeah, they get in a helicopter,
and then he's all like, "Come on to the comms with me." And then he and Chris Hemsworth talk about like Chris Hemsworth having sex with his sister, and I tuned it out. I didn't care.
You tuned it out? No, Dan, no. So let's recap since you tuned it out. So the brother gets on and Chris gets on and Chris is like, hey, should we talk about that? And the brother's like, nah, I pretty much already knew. It's cool, man. And Chris is like, well, what do you think about it? And he's like, what do you think I think about it? So then Chris gets to talk about all the negative things that he's done and is like, well, I would think that he's an ex-convict and probably not very stable and maybe not a great choice for my sister. Am I right? And then the brother's like, nah, dude, I've rarely seen her this happy. It's all good. Here's my question, Dan. Is she happy? Have you seen her happy once in this entire movie?
No, she does.
That's what I'm saying. So
she doesn't really.
As happy as she gets.
She doesn't really act.
She's at a 10. This is her 10 of happiness. This is not good. Okay, she's not doing well.
See what Tony being happy about how bad this movie is. That's a 7.
That's not even a 10. We're like 3/4 of the way.
She's at a 1. She operates at a 1. That's her
maximum. It only goes downhill from here. Unbelievable. That makes no sense to me.
So they.
But also, Dan, can we just let's think about this for 1 second.
Let's think about
so the brother busts Chris Hemsworth out of jail. The first thing that Chris does is bone his sister, and he's cool with it. Because I would be so pissed. I'd be like, I just broke you out of jail, and now you're just gonna bang my sister? What is wrong with you?
Wow, you might almost have some conflict in the movie.
No, we don't want conflict. It's got to be smooth and boring.
We all got to get along. Everyone's perfectly happy with every choice anyone's made.
I've rarely seen her happier, so it's all good.
She's somehow operating at a -1 most of the time. You should see how fucking unhappy this girl is.
Unbelievable.
So they put on bulletproof vests. They have bulletproof vests for Chris Hemsworth. This elite SWAT military team is taking Chris Hemsworth with them.
Yep. Why? Leave him at the base, right? Just be like, stay here. We got to go get some guys.
Nowhere in the world would they take an untrained civilian with them into battle. Not a chance.
And here's why. It's not because you are protecting them. It has nothing to do with that. They are a liability out in the field. If I have to worry about protecting you and the bad guys, I'm dead. I need to only be focusing on them. You can't be here. It's ridiculous.
So they go there. There's a dead guy. Then there's a secret tunnel. They go into the secret tunnel. And the bad guys.
But only some of them are in the secret tunnel, right? Aren't some people up top? I'm sorry. I got really confused.
Let me explain it. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens because I paid very close attention to this stupidity. All the SWAT guys are in the tunnel machine gunning. They end up getting flash bombed and booby trapped and beat by guys without armor. Our 4 guys, Chris Hemsworth, the girl guy, and random other guy, they say, oh, we're not going to follow. We're going to be on the street, and we're going to run ahead to exactly where they're going with no communication, no talk, no understanding.
No communication.
There's no person, not even. I mean, they have that one random guy who maybe is from Hong Kong, but they have.
But we don't know.
No understanding of. It'd be like if you were in Milwaukee, and well, if you were in Milwaukee, you'd know where to go. If I was in Milwaukee, I'd be like, I don't know where the fuck, I don't know where the tunnel is going to come out. I'm standing here, I don't know anything. But somehow they run and get ahead of the bad guys, and so they kind of got the bad guys in the crossfire, even though the bad guys kill everybody inside. And
they're good.
There's just gun battles and just stuff, and then the bad guy, someone gets shot.
The random dude.
Is it the random dude? And he is shot by a random video plug-in of being shot.
I subscribe to a lot of things, Dan, and every once a month I get a package of like cheap effects that you can download for free. That's one of them. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same.
Did you notice that?
Oh God, yeah, it looked terrible. And also here's my thing. Effects are tough, whatever. But even the actor does this weird like shimmy thing as he's going down, and I don't really know what it is, but I don't feel like you'd ever come like the bullet would push you back one way, but he does like and like shimmies down to the ground and then slowly dies. That didn't feel right either. I don't know.
It was so bad. You're just like, this is a multi-million-dollar movie, and this plug-in looks like it was done in like the cheapest horror movies that's ever
even
been
at
made.
the time, you thought this was a Netflix film still, right? You didn't know it was Micheal Mann till later. So even I knew it was
Micheal Mann right at the beginning because I saw it in the credits, but I assumed this was a made-for-Netflix kind of movie, which, going to be a little cheaper in general.
But even thinking that, you were like, man, this is dumb.
This was literally the cheapest.
That's how bad it is.
I noticed it. And if I noticed it, that means it's terrible.
You're doing a bad job, guys.
And so the bad guys somehow just get away and get on a boat.
Yeah, they just go on a boat.
And the money's on the boat. Why is the money on the boat?
Well, because they needed to bring it with them.
But they weren't carrying it.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. The money's on the boat already.
Huge sacks of money on the boat. What the fuck?
So why were they still in the tunnels? That's the question. If they had already taken the money to the boat, what did they go back for one last time and get shot at for?
Lottery tickets? I don't know.
Lottery tickets. I won $18 on the Powerball. We got to go back.
So they leave to get on the boat during the day. We cut to night. They're still on the boat.
Dan, can't you follow a boat? Isn't someone have the ability to like get in a chopper and just follow a boat?
It sure seems like it since they came in two choppers.
They
it seems
came
like you
in
can
choppers that are sitting back there. No one's following in the air?
I mean, I can't imagine the pilot was amongst the SWAT people. You just call him up.
No, he's out there eating a Twinkie, just hanging out, having snack time, and then they all come back. Well, some of them come back. Most of them are dead. And they're like, you didn't go after him? And he's like, what do you mean? I've been on union break.
I bet you a helicopter's 25 times faster than a boat.
Oh,
a helicopter would be like this. It'd be like, oh, there's the boat. I'm watching the boat.
Yeah,
so we cut to the boat. They get to the boat. Oh, and then it's night, and then they arrive at another boat. Then they unload the money. Then they load other stuff onto the boat, and then the bad guys like go back to Hong Kong to do more bad stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what the plan is.
It's really bad.
I really don't. I have no idea what the plan is.
Wait a second. I'm so confused now. This doesn't make any sense.
Oh boy, what's going on?
Well, eventually they went back from the... Didn't they get back off the boat because they're going to go blow up their car?
Yeah. That's like the next big thing that happens. Yeah.
But no, it's not. They go back to China, and then they go inside the reactor.
Okay. I believe you. I don't necessarily remember.
Oh, so they go back to China again in the middle of being in Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Because my notes go like this. Oh, no. Did Chris Hemsworth lose his buttons in that battle? ? Because at the end of this shootout, by the way, his shirt is open to his navel. It is wide open for the end of that scene.
Did he lose his buttons?
I totally forgot. But then it's why would they be the guys in the biohazard suit? So you're right. That is where they go.
So they go back to China, and then who do they send into the nuclear reactor to pull out a little module? They send Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the people you have, obviously he's the most ready and trained to go in a biohazard suit, go into a bad area, and then take some computer stuff.
So they go in there, 3 guys. The one guy falls down and hurts himself or something. So the other guy has to help him.
Trips.
You're going to the most dangerous place in the world. And you just trip. We don't know how long they can stay in there. We don't know anything.
No, it doesn't seem that long because they make the guy that fell down leave, and then it's just Chris Hemsworth.
No,
being a man.
they all leave together.
Really? I thought they sent him away, and Chris was like, "I'll grab the drive."
Well, the other guy maybe starts moving with him, but Chris Hemsworth pulls out an axe and starts beating on a random thing that we don't know what it is. We're not told.
Nah, it's computer stuff. Don't worry.
And it makes it seem like when he beats it, that something terrible is going to happen. He hits it the first time, and you're like, "Oh shit!" They make it seem like something terrible doesn't happen. He pulls the thing out, puts it in the magic box. Then they go out there, and then they pour liquid on the magic box, and then they are able to stick a cord into the magic box, and then the information comes out.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah.
But no, it's not fine. The information is corrupted. So they need to call the NSA to get this magic thing called Black Widow that the NSA has. They call the NSA guy. The NSA guy is one of the dudes from Lost.
Ethan. It is Ethan from Lost. Just so everybody knows.
And so they're all like, the NSA's like, no, you can't have it. And then they're all like, I guess we're gonna have to.
Yes.
We're gonna have to break into the NSA. And while they're breaking into the NSA, then one of the bad guys puts a thing on their car, and we're just like, oh, so they're tracking his car. Okay.
Right. Nope. Time out, though. We have to talk about them hacking the NSA real quick. Yeah. It is so beautiful. All right. So they send him an email. Sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face. They send him an email from his boss that's like, hey, since you were dealing with the Chinese foreign powers, we want to clear some stuff. Click this link. It's a phishing scam. The NSA director falls for a phishing scam, Dan. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And here's why.
I almost got fished.
Sorry. No, go.
I almost got fished once.
Did you, though?
Yeah, almost.
And getting fished are different.
I was having a problem with something, and I clicked on the thing that I thought was like an Apple link, and I went to this thing, and the dude was all like, I'll help you. He's like, just give me remote control of your computer. And I was just like,
no.
So then I got out.
I'm going to do that.
I was really close because I was confused. You know, they play is so good. They get you going.
But Dan, do you work for the NSA? No, you don't. You are a regular sweet man, okay? This guy works for the NSA. Not only that, I work for a company that makes me do cyber training once a month. We have to watch a video once a month, and they send out phishing emails as practice. All the time.
Wait, hold on. They try and trick you?
They try to trick their employees to see what's working and what's not. 100%. And you have to, if you catch it, you report it to fish.com and you get like a little bonus.
How many times have you caught it?
I've caught like 12 of them. I'm good at it. I don't fall for nothing.
No, they've never gotten you.
They've never gotten me, but they did get a guy that I work with, and it was very funny. I mean, nothing happens. They're just like, oh, you fell for it. Please don't do that anymore. But you're telling me the NSA doesn't have some sort of training? There's no way.
Nope.
There's just no. It's ridiculous.
Access
but I
to
love
Black Widow, the crown jewel of hacking stuff.
Falls for the most basic. It's unbelievable. I love it. It's good stuff. Funny. Poor Ethan. He gets taking advantage of everything he does. Poor guy.
So they put it in the thing, and then he says, now we wait. And you're like, oh, that means something exciting is going to happen because they have to wait or something. No, this means they have to wait. But what are they? While.
So you watched the movie. Do you understand what Black Widow does? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
What are they waiting for?
Oh, it's what it is they've got the data, right? Imagine it's like imagine you have a small pixelated picture, right?
Great,
and then you want it blown up. You use AI, and AI goes, "Well, this is what should be in all these locations."
Right,
so
it fills in okay.
So it's broken up data, and then this thing it's an AI tool, or essentially, and then it sort of reconstructs where everything sort of should fit. I mean, it makes sense. It's probably a real thing. I'm sure they have stuff like this.
I'll buy that.
Makes sense.
But let me ask you another question. In
Yeah.
scene A, which happens right before they hack the NSA, Chris Hemsworth goes, well, what does it do to Amanda Waller? And then she tells him. And then the scene after, he's the guy using it. And it's like, click, click, click.
Dude.
Now we wait because I know exactly how it works.
Dude, no, all he does is he drags the file over into Black Widow. And Black Widow's like, got it from here, Chief.
I know exactly what you're looking for. I'll do it for you. I don't think this is how it works.
We know that's not. And that's the whole thing is, I'm sure there's ways you could write hacker stuff that's interesting. Where
I'm going to try.
Tony's going to try.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait till the end.
Okay, now we have to wait. So they go to Jakarta. They go to Jakarta, I guess, or something about Jakarta. And they find out that they've been buying time on a satellite to look at Malaysia. Okay, now the Chinese bosses of Guy say, okay, you got to give up Hathaway. Yeah, Hathaway's got to be given up. They're done with his ass for some reason. And so,
so it is confusing because he did the Black Widow thing, and then somehow they knew he did the Black Widow thing, and they're mad at him
sense.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because of course
she
the
asked him
NSA
to do it.
No. But the whole thing is like, so they. Oh, that was what it is. The NSA figures out he's used their Black Widow, and then they're all like, he's probably going to give it to the Chinese, and so they're all like, everybody's like, we got to blow him up.
It just feels a little disingenuous to ask him to do something and then try to kill him for doing the thing you asked him to. It's very America. Let's be clear.
It's pretty Born Identity, But they're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him. They're just going to put him back.
They're just going to throw him back in the hole,
which is fair. It makes.
Because he doesn't do the time. Or wait, he doesn't let the time do him. He does the time.
Yeah,
he's fine. Don't worry about it.
And so, boom. So everybody's like, "You got to run. You got to run." And then Viola Davis and her boss talk about 9/11. Where were you when 9/11 happened? And this is another thing where they're trying to make this about 9/11. If it is about 9/11, then make it about 9/11.
Yeah, I didn't like it. And listen.
Oh, because they didn't set it up. They didn't set up that that's what they're afraid of.
That's a big card to play when you haven't earned it. Yes. It's just, it feels like a real tricky situation for me. There's a movie, I'm sure you saw it, with Robert Pattinson. Oh God, I don't remember what it was called, which is fine because see it.
Twilight. Twilight 2?
Yeah, it's Twilight. No, it's this movie about him and his father's relationship or something, yada, yada, yada. Then the last 4 minutes of the movie, you realize he's in the Twin Towers on the day, and he's about to die. And you're like, how is that how the movie has nothing to do with, it's a relationship drama. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, he's in the Twin Towers and he's dead. I was livid. We saw that in the theaters. Naomi's crying and I was fucking blackout rage. I was like, what? You can't fucking do that. Is ridiculous. That's the most manipulative thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You have a relationship drama, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, by the way, his dad, who he's visiting, works in the Twin Towers, and it's the day that they go down. I was fucking furious. And this is worse than that to me. Because this movie's not even about that. They're not in New York. They're nowhere. This is just out of nowhere. They're just like, what can we pull an emotional thread from? Oh, yeah, 9/11. Go fuck yourselves.
Oh, that's so good.
It's just lazy writing.
Then we have a big, slow car chase. And then, her name is Leanne. And
it's not, is it?
Yeah, her name's Leanne. Leanne. I
believe you.
Leanne. So then the bad guy starts shooting at him. No. Hold on. No, that's not what happens. They get out. She gets out. Then he gets out. Yes, and then they're walking. Then she's going to be leaving, and then the car blows up with Guy in it.
Well,
so Guy just
they're
dies
like having a conversation over whether or not she can come with them or something like that, right?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
And you knew it was going to blow up, right?
No, I never know anything.
Here's the thing. A
I
dead
told you.
giveaway.
I told you I
The
never know anything.
car was in frame
Oh,
the
sure.
whole time.
Sure.
And it's like, well, something's going to happen on the car. He's either going to get shot or it's going to blow up. Something's going to happen because they framed Chris on the left side of frame while he's having a conversation with someone further left than him. So they're cheating the frame so the car's in it. And that's a dead giveaway. Dead giveaway that something's going to happen. You have to be more clever. It's 2015. We know the tricks. What you need to do is have it in the background, but you still have to have the over the shoulder and have him in the. It's the whole thing. It was a dead giveaway. Very bad filmmaking.
I didn't know that. Just like I when they killed Spider-Man in the Avengers movie, I cried because I thought he died. I was there. I lived the movie.
I know you did.
You don't live the movie. You're like, I did. I knew because he signed another contract. He's not dead.
Hold on. There's a difference.
I don't enjoy movies. I try to dissect them and not have fun.
No. It was manipulative because here's the thing. He's coming back. We know he's coming back. It's not sad to me. They were trying to make it more emotional than it really was to me.
It was very, very emotional.
I know.
Very emotional.
99% of the population agrees with you, Dan.
Tears run down my face.
The guy had 4 more movies on his contract. He's not dead.
Okay. Brother blows up. They're getting shot at. Here comes Viola and the Marshall guy. Boom, boom, boom. They get killed.
Hold on, though.
So
before
literally,
he does.
hold on.
Okay, yeah.
So literally, in the course of 2 minutes,
everyone
3 of our primary characters
dead.
all just like wastedly dead. They don't do anything to get.
Nope.
They just like.
And like, you think that they're gonna matter to the movie, but it turns out they don't matter to the movie at all. Which is, and we'll get it when we get to the end, but it's very confusing on what actually is happening at the end of this movie. But what I will say is before he goes out, the agent guy, Marshall, whatever we're saying he is, he takes out 3 or 4 dudes with a pistol from like 200 yards. And this guy is a marksman.
They have high-powered machine guns.
And they're shooting back. It's not like he's just shooting, people standing there. But he's like headshotting guys from way too far with a pistol. This guy is like the Hawkeye of pistols. It's impressive.
He's really good at Mindhunter too. He's so good.
And then still just dies for no reason. He's not hiding behind something. What's going on, guys?
So they run away. They go to the subway, and then they just escape.
They just kind of let him go, really.
Those next 2 scenes, my 2 favorite scenes. He has to get the ankle bracelet off. So how do they get the ankle bracelet off, Tony?
Did they saw it off? I don't even remember. They're in a place and there's other people that I don't know, and they're doing something for his ankle.
They go to the dregs of the world, and then a guy with a Dremel dremels it off.
Okay, now a Dremel would be what?
Oh, what a Dremel is, it's like a screw gun, it's a thing that spins. It's a little thing that spins, and you can put little attachments on the thing, and you just put a little ceramic blade that you cut through it. You can just.
I'm looking. I know what this is. Yep, looking right at it right now. Yep.
If they'd have gone to like the Home Depot and bought a Dremel and dremeled it off, I would have been like, I love this movie. It's the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, that would have been.
But no, they go to the darkest, dankest place, and then as they're doing that, this guy.
But who are these people?
Well, they just went to an auto body shop, kind of an area. Not that they have Dremels. Well, they might.
But who's going to take off an ankle bracelet for you?
Criminals.
Yeah. Criminals. The underbelly.
But once again, the guy that had control of that is dead. Yep. So it doesn't matter. Yep. And more importantly, and then a guy comes up on a scooter and hands them their fake passports. Tony.
Yeah, what?
How the
fuck is that?
In another country, 2 people that have no spycraft skills are going to just order up passports?
Well, he does, though. He is the greatest spy ever known to man. Here's the thing, Dan. And let me just tell you this right now. I was convinced he was the bad guy of the movie. I was convinced that Hemsworth was doing all of this from jail to get out of jail. That's what I thought was happening. I thought he was super smart and was manipulating this whole thing so he could go free with $70 million. That's what I thought this movie was about. It turns out it's not.
I would love.
It's not about that.
And that's totally a movie you could write.
It is a movie I'm going to write. Hold on.
Tony's got the whole idea. It's got it all worked out.
They're flowing, man. They're flowing.
Okay, so they fly to Malaysia. They rent a car with all this money they have, which we don't understand where they have any money. He has no money, so we're working off her money. They can buy everything in the world on her money. I guess
you can do anything
money.
you want. Well, she's very rich
from
her days of engineering. Is that what it is?
Something.
I don't remember.
Okay, so they go out, they drive out to this plane, and they look around, and they're like, "There's nothing here." And then they're like, "Oh, but there's a stairway." So they walk over, they go up the stairway, and then they're like, "Oh, look at this hatch." They open the hatch, they climb down in there. Oh, they walk in there, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at these! They're big generators, like the generators that were in the nuclear power plant." This is what it is. And they climb back up top, and he looks around, and there's this big reservoir, and he's all like, "This is where every tin mine in the world is, and if they blew up a thing here, then they would control the world's tin."
And
they would hold on, Tony.
Okay.
This is all about controlling the world's tin. It's whole
a great metal
movie is about controlling the world's tin. Did you ever see?
It's my second favorite metal.
Did you ever see the Superman movie? Maybe where Lex Luthor's big plan is to make an island off of New York because he could be a realist.
Returns, right? Isn't that Superman Returns?
I guess.
With Brandon Routh.
Am
I saying that right? Ruth? I love him, by the way, so please don't be mad at me that I said his name wrong. I think he's great. Deserves better. This
is the same point when I was in that movie as this movie. It comes in the same part of the movie where you're just like, this is about trying to make real estate. You're smartest person in the world that can do anything that has $76 million needs more money off of a tin scheme.
Here's what I'll say about the real estate one, which I like better than tin, is that I met Emmitt Smith this week, which was a highlight of my life.
Emmitt Smith? He was amazing.
Emmitt Smith, we interviewed him for the show. And he's like, yeah, I've made more money off real estate since retiring than I could have ever made it playing football if I would have played for 40 more years. And I was like, Oh, dude, you're killing it. Also, side note, that guy looks fucking great. And he is so charismatic. I'm in love with him.
Yeah,
anyhow,
he's great.
So I buy the real estate one more than I buy tin. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a plan you could do, but it's not a plan I care about. You're sitting here and you're
plan.
Like, who cares? I don't care. Why do they care?
To me, if we're in a room and we're pitching ideas to our head boss, it's one idea from the room, but it's not the best idea. It's one of the ones that was like, okay, you know what? Put a pin in that one. I don't hate it, but let's see if we can come up with something better. And they didn't.
More importantly, if you have this great algorithm, you could just be running up futures on the stock market every day, right?
But slowly. You shouldn't do it to the point where everyone notices. Like, don't you slow play that and just make money every day and then eventually make your millions and retire? That's what I would do if I could.
That's what every real thing does, because you just do that. You just siphon and siphon and siphon, and you're never going to get caught, and you're not going to have Chris Hemsworth, the greatest person ever, come after to kill you.
Greatest person ever.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna.
Hold on.
Oh,
is this so? This is the scene where he's like, they're gonna flood the village, right? Is that this one?
And flood and kill the children and the animals and the dogs.
Hold on. The exact line is he could flood the whole village, killing the village people, which is hilarious by itself. But then he says, and the village dogs. I don't understand. One, why are you saying village in front of all of those words? Like, they're going to flood the village, killing village people, the band, and village dogs, which is a band that I would listen to. Let's just throw that out there. Why is there village so many times in that sentence? It doesn't make any sense. Who wrote this?
And I mean, I don't want all the village dogs dying. I don't.
Of course not.
This is so dumb.
It's terrible. So this is the worst. This is really bad stuff, man. I love it.
Now we got a new feature on the show, Tony.
Oh my God.
New feature
We
on the
are
show.
167 episodes in. We finally have some new content. All right, tell me what it is.
This is you gotta put in a little thing. Maybe make a little song. I don't know.
Okay, what's the name of the segment?
Shannon's fun fact.
Shannon's Fun Facts. Nope, that's Tiki's
Fact.
Funhouse
Just
or whatever
one
that is.
fact. Just one fact.
One fact.
Shannon's fun fact.
I love it.
There used to be tin mines in Cornwall. Also, that is where the Cornish pasty comes from.
In my head, I'm just imagining her saying this, by the way, and I love it. Also,
And then she went on to talk about how the tin miners, they ate the Cornish pasty, and it's basically like an empanada, but they'd hold the where it was crimped, and then they'd bite into the big meaty part. And I was like, oh, they wanted the meaty part
you get
first.
the good stuff first. Yeah,
She's all like, no, because they got tin all over their fingers, tin dust. They don't want to get the tin dust.
Oh, you can't eat it.
I'm sure they got.
So they don't eat the crust.
I'd probably throw it away.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. To be honest, I like the nice crunch of the bread there. Good stuff. Thanks, Shannon.
Shannon's fun fact.
There you go. You got to bookend it. Yep.
So they go to an airport, and then they go to the thing I wrote here. They go to the boat place, also known as a dock.
Yeah.
And what do they have? They've got new computers, cars, a bunch of chisels, and
I don't know.
kitchen knives, and
Yeah.
cereal boxes. How do they get Wi-Fi in this location?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. Satellites? I don't know.
Okay. They have this one interesting scene where they go up on the top of a parking garage and ram their car into a truck, so the truck falls into a building so that he can sneak in there. And then
I didn't understand why they did it, but I was like, that's fun.
And he goes in there and he mounts a dev file, and as he's exiting, as setting up a VCR. Yeah, I don't know. He just goes in there and sets up a dev file that's going to do something.
Well, this is where he
easier.
tricks someone into using a USB, right?
No,
she does that.
No, that's
she does that.
She puts on a hot dress. She puts on a hot white dress, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she's very attractive.
Oh, yes.
You
didn't know that before?
I mean, she's not
That's fair.
Very attractive. She did not play her as a. I mean,
she's cute.
Is she cute, good looking? Sure, but they didn't. She didn't. She was never sexy, or
She's no Chris Hemsworth. You know what I'm saying?
He is not sexy.
Actually, I'll be honest. I didn't love Hemsworth in this movie. That hair is not doing it for me.
So she goes in there. She stains her document. She gets in there, goes in the bank, and is like, "Oh, my document! I got an important meeting. I'm a woman. Here, plug this USB drive into your thing." They plug the USB drive in, and then they steal the $73 million in 1 second.
And here's what I'll say. I liked this plan way better than the phishing email, because a USB scam, I buy.
Yeah.
I buy it.
Do you really buy that computer would be hooked right into the thing that you could steal the money from the bank?
It's not. They would never let that be on the same network. It's just not possible.
I love it how
that would be the biggest security risk ever.
I love it how this supposed movie that has hired all these super hackers and everyone to write their movie, and people say this is the most right thing about this is a movie about hacking and gets it all right. You're like, yeah, well, the phishing scam's real. If you're phishing real,
but there's no way. Yeah,
if you're
way that guy's gonna fall for it.
If you're going into like the local bank and you trick somebody into doing
exactly,
and you steal $2 million out of the bank and that's all their assets, yeah, okay. But this is not going to work in like real places. And if he has access to that, he can take as much money as he wants. He could take all the money in the world.
100%.
Anybody could. Anybody just walk into this bank and take all the money in the world.
Yep. Yeah. No. Absolutely ridiculous. But like earlier in the movie, when they're reading the two different codes, they're like, yeah, this was a different author because like he's leaving himself notes in the code and it's a little bit sloppier. And I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, because programmers do have a style, they have a fingerprint, like I liked that.
Yeah.
That was it. That's the only thing that I liked.
So he emails the bad guy and say, here's my phone number, give me a call. Then the Lebanese guy's call and says, you can't talk to the boss. And he's all like, you don't know what you're talking about. I can talk to the boss. Give me the boss. Nothing's happening. And the boss, like, they hang
just
up.
Gets on the phone immediately.
No, I wish that would have happened. That would have been good. That would have been funny. But no, he has like, oh, he'll call you back in 20 minutes. And no, I called him back. Yeah. And then Chris Hemsworth uses the reverse psychology. I want to do anything except meet you. I cannot meet you. I will never meet you in a million years. The guy's like, okay, we'll do a deal, but only if you meet me. And he's like, you forced me to meet you.
Like, oh, dang it. You totally saw me. Oh, God, it's so good. So good. The writing is just, so good in this movie.
So 20%, he wants 20% of the money. So now he armors up. He puts cardboard around his center
and magazines, and then duct tapes it together.
And then
how does he know to do this?
Hot glues knife. He takes screwdrivers and then sharpens them, and then puts screwdrivers here and knives here, and then a knife in his glasses. I'm just like,
that's goddamn Jason Bourne.
What is this? Yeah. I do not understand this. What?
Nope, it doesn't make any sense. Even better is he knows how to use it all with extreme efficiency.
And what does he say? I just got to get close enough to take my shot.
Yep. Great.
What? I don't understand.
This guy is a spy. He's been with the CIA for 40 years.
So the place they're supposed to meet is this building without walls, and they just look up at the building and see all the bad guys, and it's like, we're not meeting you there because I see all the bad guys.
I see all of your bad guys you brought, even though I told you not to bring bad guys. Why wouldn't they be hidden? It doesn't make any sense.
So instead they meet in this giant open area where there's 10,000 people having a festival.
Some sort of parade? Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
So he goes there, and he's, of course, spots the bad guy with 12, 15 guys out there. Don't spot him. Right. He's walking up on the bad guy, and then the Lebanese guy shows up, and the Lebanese guy puts a gun on him, and then he fights the Lebanese guy. And the Lebanese guy...
Not even that long.
Hold on. Lebanese guy's pointing a gun at him, and there's hundreds of people walking past them, seeing the gun.
Nobody does anything.
No one reacts.
Nope.
Let me tell you something, Tony. In the rest of the world, they do not see guns in the real... Actually, no place in the world do we see guns in the real world.
Right.
And if you saw somebody... If you're in one of those places, I bet you if we looked up Malaysia has bombings. They have all sorts of terrible terrorist people that do terrible things in the streets on a regular basis, because that's pretty common in other places in the world. I could be wrong, but I bet you if we looked up... I remember when I went to South America... There would be army guys with machine guns stationed in front of the banks. Machine guns, ready to machine gun you if you fucked with the bank. The rest of the world, more stuff goes down in general.
Yeah.
No one reacts to these people having guns at all. It's
not
insane.
Until bullets start flying. Then people are like, oh, wait, what's going on? Yeah, it's super weird. I got nothing.
You got nothing.
It's weird.
So he fights the guy, he takes his gun, and then he's like, I don't know, the bad guy's there, and the bad guy just waits for him to come over.
Yeah. Well, hold on. He kills the Lebanese guy. Did you say that?
Kills the Lebanese guy, yeah.
With a screwdriver.
He
stabs him like 9 times in the neck.
I guess so. Yeah.
No, that's what happens. I'm telling you what happens.
Yeah.
The gun is on him from behind. He does this like...
he doesn't
breaks
maneuver.
The arm. He breaks the guy's arm with one move, grabs the gun, pulls him, and breaks the arm.
Okay.
Right? And then he takes out his knife like this and stabs him in the neck until he falls to the ground. That's what happens.
And then so he's pointing a gun at the bad guy. And what does he say to the bad guy? The Australian weird bad guy.
I don't know what he say. I made it.
You killed my friends. This is what it's about. He's doing this because his friend. Who are his friends?
Just the brother.
That's a friend. That's a friend.
Yeah. Well, maybe Amanda Waller's become a friend.
Hold on. Some terrorist or some terrible person kills me, and you go to avenge me. Would you say, I'm killing you because you killed my friends? Or would you say, because you killed my friend? You'd name me. You'd
I
make
would
it
say,
personal.
This is for shaky bacon, motherfucker, and then I'd blow him away.
And if you were taking your vengeance on me, would you say, I'm doing this for my friend or friends, for my friend? Would you then wait?
No.
And not shoot him?
I'm telling you, as soon as I get out, shaky bacon, motherfucker, pop! Guy's done. That's the last thing I want him to hear is shaky bacon.
He lets the guy not get shot. And I'm just what is happening?
Not at all. That's why that is where the best John Wick is the best ending ever. He just walks up to the guy starts talking, pops him in the head. He's like, I don't give a shit what you say. I came to kill you. I killed you. I did.
I've spent a whole movie coming for you. I'm so here. Good. I'm not going to talk.
I don't care.
I don't care what you have to say.
I don't want to hear any of your thoughts. You're done. So good.
So then he gets up, then they fight some more, and then he gets up there, and this is the one part I liked. He breaks that guy's arm too, and we see his arm go.
Oh, maybe he didn't break maybe he just held the guy while he stabbed him then. Because you're right. This is the arm that snaps down, which was very scary.
Then he stabs him in the chest 100 times.
Yeah.
And I was
ridiculous.
That was satisfying. I was satisfied with that amount of killing. And that's why you shouldn't have given him the gun. You should have made him have to go over there and kill him with the knife.
Yes.
You shouldn't have given him a gun because there's no reason for him to have a gun.
Now, my question is, Dan, do you think you could do that? Or I could do that? You think one of us could just
physically or emotionally?
Physically.
No, I couldn't do it.
I know emotionally you couldn't do it.
Well, me,
emotionally, I could totally do it. Okay? I am ready to go.
That's true.
Just physically.
I'm very soft.
You're a sweet, gentle guy. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think I'm hard, and then when I get put in a position, I'm I'm worthless.
Yeah, no, you're not worthless, Dan. You're a good guy.
No,
hold on to that. Don't let people tell you that. You don't have to.
When I'm avenging you, Tony, I gotta be hard.
Hopefully that's what will harden you is my death. It'll affect you so much that it'll make you cold inside. You know what I mean? And then I believe you could do it.
It'll make me sad.
No, I mean physically. With us, as people that don't fight, I just don't believe. It feels so weird for him to just suddenly hand fight the whole movie's about hacking, right? And then the third act is he's an action star.
So little of the movie's about hacking.
I mean, okay, no, hold on. I mean, that's what they are pitching it as, is a movie about hacking. But then the third act is him going hand-to-hand combat.
I mean, that's the whole thing about this movie is we want it to be about the hacking. That's why we like Hackers with Johnny Lee Miller and
oh god, I love that movie.
Great because there's hacking and there's Fisher Stevens. It's freaking great.
And let's be honest, the CGI of the circuit boards in that movie are just as good as the ones in this movie.
We remember everyone walked out of this movie and forgot it instantly because you didn't make characters, you didn't make real stakes, you didn't make it about anything. There are no themes, and we don't care.
Yeah.
So then they just leave. And then she'd gone to the pharmacy earlier, so he gets to the car and he's been cut, and she dresses the wound for some unknowable reason. And
they're both medics all of a sudden. They're both field medics.
Pulls him an IV drip. Maybe there's pharmacies you can get an IV drip at in Malaysia.
Even if there was, I wouldn't know how to set one up. Why? I don't understand.
What's an IV drip going to do for you? It's not going to keep you alive. Saline,
it's going to hydrate them. Isn't that what it does? I don't know.
That is what it does. And I mean, it's you do an IV drip to move medicine into them at a correct rate.
Yes. Yeah, yes. But maybe he just had a headache. You know what I mean? On top of the wounds, he also had a dehydration headache. And she's like, the fastest way is just to go straight through the vein.
It's like, why? It's like, this is how we're so prepared. We went to the pharmacy. we didn't even talk about the pharmacy thing. She runs into the pharmacy and is like,
Oh, that's right.
"This is an emergency." We're like, "What do you mean it's an emergency?
What?
There's no emergency.
What's going on?
Wait in fucking line."
Not only that, but don't bring attention to yourself. You're on the run right now. Why would you be like, it's an emergency? Oh no.
So
ridiculous.
Then we cut. They're like in an airport and they go to an ATM and he takes out some money and it says, "You have this many baht left."
And I was confused. Whose money is that?
That's
is that
the
72 million?
Yeah.
Because it said like 45 something.
Because it's in a different denomination.
Okay.
It was in Malaysian money, which is like baht or something.
All right. I don't know anything.
Look up Malaysian money and you can look up the
right
conversion
now?
rate and you'll be able to figure it out.
All right. I'll do it while you talk.
So then we see them wearing sunglasses walking through the airport off to go someplace else with their supposed fake passports to do what? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know what the ending is. I don't know. What have they accomplished? They killed this guy, and the other people will just pick up his stuff and just do it again. They haven't solved the problem.
No, not at all.
Oh, I hate this.
So, Dan.
Yes.
Are you sure they're bad guys now, right?
Well,
like they stole the money.
They continue to be nothing because they've been nothing through the movies. Now they continue to be nothing. They're not even bad guys. They're like, I don't even know what they are. I don't know what the point is.
There's no resolution to the movie in my mind. Yeah, he kills the guy that killed his one friend. Who cares?
Who cares?
Are the NSA? They're still coming after him, right? Like that didn't get resolved. He didn't produce. He was supposed to produce the bad guy to get out of jail. He didn't technically do that. He killed him. Now there's no way to even prove that was the bad guy, right?
No one knows that.
If anyone's the bad guy, it's him now because he has the money. I don't understand this movie at all.
He just murdered a bunch of people with about 1 billion witnesses all standing there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big time. Big time. Yeah. Now, Dan, here we go. This is obviously now and not 2015, but 73 million United States dollars. Ooh, that looks like an E. I don't know what that means. So that would be the numbers would be 34525 and then a bunch of numbers after it. So I guess with inflation and changes, it could be close to that. You're right. But I do see an E in there, I think, which I'm confused about. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's 0.21. It's the Malaysian ringgit is equal to 0.21 United States dollars. So
now
it should have been 100 and no, it should have been 5 times as much. It should have been 350 million ringgits.
345.
But as I remember,
253,240. Yeah.
I remember it seemed to have said it was 50 million. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they took out 5 and they had like 43 left, so it would have been like around 48. But I mean, things have changed. It's 8 years later. Who knows? I don't know. Anyhow, there's no resolution in the movie. The movie sucks. End of story.
This movie really had. You're just like Micheal Mann made Heat, which is a it's a male dick swinging movie, but there were a lot of dicks swung in that movie.
Yeah.
You go back,
and that's a good thing.
I rewatched a bunch of it. You go back and rewatch the scene where they knock over the armored car. Fucking amazing scene where they are at the abandoned drive-in, where they where they get what's his name to go to the empty space so they can look at and see who they're up against. They get him to go to the docks and they're like looking at them on binoculars and watching Hoo-yah! There's just like a lot of things in that movie like that, where shit goes down and you're like, these are characters. They're fucking assholes, but they're characters.
Now, I'm trying to figure out, since Heat, has he made good movies?
I don't know. You're about to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm looking at it because I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that he has.
Okay, now we're going to talk about something we like this week. Across the Spider-Verse just dropped on Netflix.
Did it? That's great because I don't want to pay for it.
It is the best movie of this year.
Did you see Gran Turismo?
Oh,
I'll watch it.
How much
I'll
better.
watch
I love
Shut your
Gran
mouth.
Turismo.
No,
I
it's
really enjoyed, but this movie
not.
this
I don't
movie
know. I
is
don't
a
know.
fucking symphony. Oh my god!
Is it? All right.
They just the sound editing, the music edit, the songs, and just this movie like killed 100 animators. It's like one of those.
Oh, for sure.
One of those things where they you build the Brooklyn Bridge and there's like 100 animators like buried inside of it. It's I can only imagine the work that went into this movie, and
I'm excited.
You realize.
Am I going to cry?
Throughout the entire movie, yes, you will.
Yeah, great. Okay.
This is part 1 of 2.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you're warned because I got to like 15 minutes ago, and I'm like, how the fuck are they going to wrap up?
There's no way. There's no way this is getting wrapped up. Oh no. Okay, no. That's a good note. Thank you, Dan.
So you've been warned. The set pieces in this movie are just phenomenal, and the character work, the animation, acting is
superb.
It's unbelievable. Every voice actor in this movie. There are some lines that are a little hard to read. There's one line I listened to 20 times and I still haven't been able to figure out what it is. Jake, what's his name as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
He is so good. Oscar Isaacs plays the Spider-Man 2099. He's so good. What's her name is Gwen Stacy, and the kid that plays Miles Morales are just There's just the beginning 15 minutes of this movie is just unbelievable. You're just like,
interesting.
It's unbelievable.
Okay. I'm excited.
I can't. But the thing about it that's so beautiful is it's just perfectly well written. It's not that it's not overwritten. It's not underwritten. It's just like every line's there for a reason. From the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, every little bit is just necessary of this beautiful mosaic. And then, visually it's more unbelievable than the first movie. It's just everything about it's unbelievable. And it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And you're just like, there's not they don't waste a second in this, this movie we just watched. Every second is wasted in the movie. This movie, they don't waste a second. There's not even a line of dialogue you could cut from this movie.
Interesting.
What the hell?
Okay, well, I'm excited. I've been excited. I am excited, and we'll watch it soon.
Yeah. When you have time between watching stuff that's dumb.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. I don't know why I'm being personally attacked here, Dan. All right?
Because one of us is going to die, Tony, and the other one's going to have to revenge that person. So,
All right. Well, hopefully I'm the one dying because I'm too tired to go avenge anybody.
We do not have the knives in the house. I will have to buy knives.
Don't buy too many because he might get on a list somewhere, Like, this guy's buying a lot of knives over here. I wonder what he's doing.
So what do you got for us? Did you see anything good, Tony,
on
your plane ride?
Things. Oh, yeah. No, I got 2 things. Love Island Games started last week, and it is a treat. It's like, people from all the seasons, from all the countries are coming together in the U.S., and it's half Love Island, half just mini games. And it's awesome. It's very fun. If you like reality television, it's great. It's a home run so far. And then I went out to Frisco, Texas last week for work.
Is that where you
were? And I went to this place. This says Hutchins Barbecue.
Oh.
And it is the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. We were out there for 4 days. We had 4 different barbecue joints.
Oh, so you went to 4 different places to try?
Every night we went to barbecue joints that people were like, this is the best one. This is the best one. Hutchins was my favorite. It was incredible. The smoked sausage was so good. If you ever find yourself in the middle of Texas, I think it's north of Dallas, Frisco, Texas, Hutchins, unreal.
We went to Dallas. God, when was it? Must have been in the 90s, maybe 93 or something, 94.
Sure.
And we went with this one guy, and he was obsessed with barbecue. And we were dealing toys and stuff like that. And we were just like,
oh, sure. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. We don't care. We ate no barbecue when we were in Texas.
Oh, Dan, you blew it.
Because we didn't care. We're like food.
Sure.
Food just gets you through the day. Buying toys, buying stuff. That's
Sure.
what's important. You
It's
know,
going to
now
sustain me forever.
I would love to go and have Texas barbecue. Did they give you bread with your barbecue?
So no. So the way that this, you can buy bread, but
okay.
so the way it is like the fire pit is the first thing you go to, and you're like, I want this meat, this meat, this meat, this meat. They throw it on a tray, and then you walk down like a buffet style line, and that's where all the sides are, and then you just pay by the container. So what you do, Dan, is you take a container and you just fill it up as much as you can possibly fill it. So I had mac and cheese was like this big. I had potato salad. I had jalapeno baked beans. Oh God, it was so good. It was a great trip. I mean, work is work, but the food was dynamite.
Well,
and I think this hat I'm looking at says McKinney, so maybe it's in McKinney, but it's right next to Frisco because we were staying in Frisco, but it's over there.
Dallas has like a million different little
tons of suburbs
that just go on.
Great stuff.
So we need a movie for next week. We're gonna be a Halloween adjacent still. We're gonna do something
I love it.
That's brand new, brand new,
brand new.
Okay. New.
I love new things.
Somehow released in theaters and on streaming.
Day and date. Same day?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, what's going on with this? And I was like, this is a movie we have to see because we gotta bring our assessment eyes to this because some people are loving it. Other people are like, what the fuck is this? You know it.
What is this?
You love it. Five Nights at Freddy's, baby.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, great.
I remember like watching like a replay of the game like on YouTube.
Should I play the game before next? I've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's. I think I'll have to do it.
I think nothing happens.
In the game?
You sit there and it's like, and you just watch these screens and then
yes.
nothing
so I
happens.
Think the point of the game
like ever
is to like, you have to make sure that the things run throughout all 5 nights without dying, because if they die, you lose track and then you get killed. I don't. I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna let you know. I mean, not all of them because I think there's a bunch of them now, but I'm gonna play at least one of them.
I guess there's a whole lore and like
all
this.
I did know that because there's either comics or books or something that kind of spun off of it. So there's stuff.
And Jenny Nicholson, who's like a YouTuber I watch, she like posted some comments about it, because she watched it and got like just avalanche of shit from people because, she doesn't know all the lore. And
sure.
And she said something which I thought was really interesting is that this is one of those franchises that blew up.
Yeah.
Like Twilight, maybe she said not Twilight, like 50 Shades. And where the person doing it didn't understand anything. And so they just wrote these other books, this and Twilight too. They just kept on writing stuff. The end of Twilight is, oh yeah, nothing happened, right? Isn't that how Twilight ended?
Yeah. I mean, basically, yeah.
It's people that are not there thinking about a franchise, thinking about how things work. They're just people that have gotten lucky with one thing and then just kept making things. And so the lore just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Kind of gets out of control a little bit, yeah.
So I think Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of like that.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to play. I don't have a lot of money right now, so I can't buy all of them, but I'll buy a couple. See what's up.
Why don't you just buy one and try one?
I'm gonna probably buy a couple. See what's. You're right. I'll buy all of them and I'll play them each for 10 minutes, and I'll know everything I need to know.
There it is, and we'll be watching that. And like we say, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. You can subscribe or you can leave a comment if there's a movie you want us to look at. As long as it's a terrible looking movie, we'll probably be interested in doing it.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week, hopefully pissing off a bunch of 13-year-olds by saying negative things about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, let's try to keep in mind it is tailored to a younger audience, so let's keep that in mind when we watch it.
It seems like it's supposed to be a horror movie, and it's supposed
PG
to be for
PG-13, right?
I think
it's PG-13. So I think it's the way I'm going to look at it right now is like it's a Goosebumps type of it's like introductory horror, right?
Tried watching
the show.
I tried watching the show. watched the first episode, and I got to the end, and spoilers. They were like, the sins of the parents onto the children. I was like, no,
I'm out.
Ixnay.
I'm out. No, no good.
I didn't hate the kid as much as you hated him. I thought it was.
I hate him, and I feel bad. Like, I'm sure he's good in other things. He's not good in this.
The whole ending was just so stupid. You're like, this is about a camera that tells us what's going to happen, and you end with
say
a
cheese
football
and die.
game.
Did you read any of the Goosebumps books?
No, never read any of them.
So here's part of my and now we're just in. This is bonus time. Everyone, turn off the episode of your
bonus riff.
The problem is Goosebumps are great. Again, children horror, right? Like,
sure.
They're introductory horror. They're not super scary or anything, but they are mashing so many. There's like 8 books that they've just mashed together and are trying to make one narrative out of it. It doesn't make any sense at all. And then you can't focus on a certain book in order to make it make sense, because you're moving on to the next thing and the next thing. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. I'm so disappointed. I do like Justin Long.
Sure.
And I wish he was in it more, because he's not so far. But I think we're 4 or 5 episodes in. Ooh. And it's not getting better.
Hasn't gotten better.
No.
Cool. So we'll be back next week talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, and maybe we'll see you then.
Goodbye, everybody.